So right now in Israel, it's already technically now Yom HaAtzmaut in Israel. It's still Yom HaZikaron in Chutz La'aretz. And it's interesting. I always found the juxtaposition to be very interesting because Americans, in America there's a Memorial Day in America, and there's also an Independence Day in America. So the American version of Yom HaZikaron, people do barbecues and go to the beach. The American version of Yom HaAtzmaut, people do barbecues and go to the beach. The Israeli version of Yom HaZikaron, of Memorial Day, people actually do Memorial Day. They memorialize fallen soldiers, and that's all it is. There's no barbecues, there's no beach, there's no nothing. There's just solemn ceremonies. Not to say that in America they don't do that either, but it's not the focus. Not only that, in America, Memorial Day is what? The last Monday of May, and Independence Day is always the same day. It's July 4th. So these are two kind of like separate days that are essentially have almost nothing to do with each other on the calendar. And they're not even like, they're just completely seemingly disconnected, except for the barbecues. But in Israel, it's just like, it's almost, I will use the word schizophrenia, because it's like, you're doing this Yom HaZikaron thing, you're crying, you're hearing about the soldiers. It's this, thing of like just very emotional, very solemn. You do that for 24 hours, and then boom, right into like, hey, let's party. I have a friend, granted, most religious people don't, because right now we're in what's called Sphira, right? So we're in the time between Pesach and Lag BaOmer, or if you want to say Pesach and Shavuot. A lot of people don't shave, right? A lot of people don't, it's almost as if you're in Avelus, in mourning. I have friends who are followers of, let's say, the Rav Kook Shita, the Rav Kook school, who will shave and take a haircut on Yom HaAtzmaut. I have a friend, I don't know if you know his name, Yehuda HaKohen. He lives in Beit El, and he says that every year he's a very hazak guy, but every year he takes a haircut, and I don't know if he shaves anymore, but he definitely takes a haircut on Yom HaAtzmaut and on Yom Yerushalayim. And he said it's the only day where taking a haircut is an expression of deep emunah.
I feel positive about it. As long as it's, when you're talking to people, like just kind of like the emotion of Jews having a land and, being able to just be there without being killed for what you are. But at the same time, it's kind of I guess it's bittersweet. Actually, it's mostly bitter, because if you think about it, what's the main idea of being in Israel for a Jew? You get to do mitzvahs, right? But you're supposed to be able to have the ability to do as many commandments as possible. That's really what it comes down to. That's why Jews need to be in Israel. You can do agricultural commandments. You can do the Pesach sacrifice, right? There's certain places on the Temple Mount that you can go to, right? You can do all these things, and it would seem that it's those specific things that are interfered with the most by our own people. It's like Israel was established. It's like, you can be a Jew, come here to be a Jew, but you got to go. You're just going to be like a regular Mediterranean, kind of like resort type of person. You know what I mean? Like you're going to go, you're going to have a falafel, you're going to go to the beach, there's sexy girls walking all around, that kind of thing. You can come here and feel free to do that. But if you want to do the Korban Pesach, or you want to go anywhere near the Temple Mount or anything that what you're actually supposed to be doing here, nope. So Yom HaAtzmaut hasn't really happened yet. The idea is good, right? What are you holding on to? Why do you need this little stretch of real estate to have your little Jewish resort? for, you know, that I guess I'm kind of split in that way.
A friend of mine calls it it's almost as if it's a you know, if you talk to any of these kind of Zionist, I call them apparatchiks, some of these people who work it for, like, I don't know, some of these organizations, even right-wing guys, it's almost like a bomb to them. In their mind, it's like a bomb shelter state with Jewish ornaments. You know, like we'll allow.
We had Baribajan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's a couple of, you know, we could have been in like Uganda, Baribajan. We could have been like in upstate New York or something like that. You know, we could have just, you know, with an army and everything. You know, like that's not even like you really needed that specific piece of real estate to have the little bomb shelter. So it doesn't make too much sense. I think that the people who are, you know, we keep saying the Erev Rav. I think that their specific goal, most of them are unconscious, but the people who, I feel like the top people, whoever that is, they know what they're doing. Like they're there. They understand that they're serving as the final galut for the Jewish people, like, and they're holding on to it really, really hard. You know, they're just like Pharaoh. The Israeli government is more like Pharaoh than any other gullus that we've been in so far. How's that?
I sometimes no, you're absolutely right, because again, like, speaking of which, you know, what I was describing with the whole multiplication of the Jews, of the Torah Jews in the land, it's almost like, it's kind of like when Pharaoh was getting worried that there was too many Jews in Mitzrayim, and these leftists are getting worried that there's too many Jews, too many frum Torah Jews in Israel.